Hello, thank you for joining me on the mat today. We have a fun little flow on Yoga with Paige. I am Paige. Welcome if we have not practiced together before. Today we have a nice, fun, playful, energetic Vinyasa flow. It is full of twists and binds, so it'll really help get the things a-flowing, the juices a-flowing. And if you would like to grab a yoga block for poses like triangle, we do some fun transitions and balance poses. We go pretty deep, so grab that if you would like to have that handy. We do have a little bit of a warm up, of course, but if this is your first initial movement of the day, maybe you take a few minutes right now to pause me, just open up a little bit through the hips and the shoulders and chest. And whenever you're ready, we can get started in easy seat. So I forgot to mention with this class being full of twists and binds, and if you can't quite reach your hands to make this a little bit more accessible, you can also bring a yoga strap with you to help bridge that gap. And if you don't have a yoga strap in your possession, you can also use a small towel or a little blanket or anything of that sort to make this class more accessible for you. So we begin today crossed at the ankles, sitting up nice and tall, feeling the breath, taking the shoulders down, just feeling the body. Take one deep inhale in through the nose and exhale it all out. Settling in, we're getting ready to fire up this practice. Inhale, reach the arms up, interlace the fingers, pressing palms away. Exhale, press them in front of the shoulders, rounding through the back, tucking the chin. Inhale, lift the arms up, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, and exhale, round. Taking a few of these rounds to just open up through the shoulders, the front of the chest. Beginning to match movement to breath. One more round. Big inhale, maybe take a slight back bend, and exhale, round. Releasing the hands, planting them in front of the legs, and coming onto all fours. Scooting to the middle of the mat to deepen the spine mobilization with some cat-cow. So gripping through the fingers. Inhale, lift the chest, or lift the gaze, drop the belly. And exhale, round. Feeling the spine awaken. Making these movements big and expressive. Finding one more round here. And we meet back in tabletop. Inhale, reach the left arm up to the sky, peeling it high, big twist. Exhale, thread the needle. Taking a few breaths here. We can release the right arm up to the sky. Maybe we wrap it around the back, trying to find the other thigh. If we're pretty open in the shoulders and we have a lot of binds available to us in our practice, we have a lot of options for them today. On your next breath, exhale to release, press back up. Inhale, reach the left arm high, and exhale, plant it down. Reposition. Then inhale, peel the right arm up. Grab a handful of that air and exhale, thread the needle. Using the opposition of the fingers to press away from the mat, opening through the upper back. Taking the same variations that we did on the other side, but not worrying if we didn't take a bind or it's not available to us yet. Just warming up. On your next breath, exhale, press back up into tabletop. Inhale, reach, finish it out. Exhale. Tuck the toes. Prepare for downward facing dog. Lift the hips, send them up, walk the hands out. Starting to pedal the feet. Taking your time to wake up the backs of the legs. Say hello to them. Reaching the chest towards the legs. Find your static downward facing dog and hold here for a breath. Really releasing, trying to find the restful in this pose. This is supposed to be a resting pose. And then on your next breath, bend the knees, sending the hips closer to the heels, still gripping through the fingers. And exhale, straighten, reaching the heels down. Gazing at the hands, gently make your way up to the top of the mat. And dangle, bending the knees, letting the belly meet the thighs. Let the blood rush to the head. And whenever you're ready, reaching up, nice and tall, mountain pose. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Find one breath here to really ground yourself through the feet. Lifting up, nice and tall through the crown of the head. Find your presence. Maybe setting an intention for this practice, making it as fun as you can, or whatever came to mind. And on your next exhale, release the hands by the sides. Inhale, reach them overhead, grasping opposite elbows. Inhale, lift, raising the chest. Exhale, bend to the right side. Taking your gaze to the left, opening up the side body. Hold here. Using the core to keep yourself balanced and lifted. Last breath. Exhale, back to center. One breath to reset. And then bend to the other side. Feeling a nice stretch along the sides of the ribs. And exhale, center. Release the hands, taking them behind the lower back. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, fold over the legs. We can keep the knees bent if we need to. Inhale, use the hands to draw the chest back up. And exhale, fold. Taking about 2 more of these. Moving with your breath. Enjoying the forward, backward bending. Last one. Exhale, forward folds. And when we meet here, we can gently release the hands. Let them fall in front of the feet. Place the right hand down, bend the right knee, peel the left up. 2 breaths here. We can always wrap the arm around the back. Exhale, replace. Inhale, peel the right arm up, bend the left knee. Just having fun with this one today. Exhale, forward fold. Planting both of the hands, gently step back into plank pose. Connect to the core, draw the navel into the spine, tuck the elbows into the sides, and slowly, see how slow you can lower down to the belly. Slowly lower down. Big, strong push up. Work through those triceps. Lower down onto the belly. Untuck the feet. Steeple the fingertips, the sides of the mat. Gazing right in front of you, down at the mat. Inhale, press through the hands to lift the chest. And exhale, take the forehead to the mat. Finding this little mini oscillating cobra flow. Drawing the scapula together. Waking up the upper back, the shoulders, the side body for all of these binds and twists. Beautiful, taking nice big full breaths. Last one. And exhale. Taking the hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, and press up onto the knees, coming through tabletop to melt down into puppy pose. So once our hips are over the knees, walk the hands out, exhale. Release. Release tension in the shoulders. Use your next few breaths to soften. Let go. On this next exhale, maybe press through the hands around the back, finding a little pulse, and then melt back down. Making this a little bit more dynamic, more active. One more breath wherever we are. And then gently melt down the hips to the heels, raising up onto the knees, drawing the knees together. Taking one breath here, hands can come to heart center. Little check-in moments throughout this practice. Releasing the hands, coming up onto the knees, stepping this right foot up, coming into a little 90-90 lunge. Find your placement here, squaring the hips. Then take the left hand to the right knee and peel this right arm back. Little twist, squeeze through the glutes. And exhale, frame this foot, slide the right foot out a little bit more, and come into half split, sending the hips back, flexing this right foot back at the face. Just letting yourself naturally open up. Don't push anything today. We're here for a few breaths. And we have a chance to deepen this as well. We can stay here, or we can place the left hand on the opposite side of the leg and try to peel the right arm up. Twist as we send the hips down and back. It's a very active pose. A lot is going on here. Finding one last breath wherever you are. And framing the foot. Gently sweeping it back and stepping up with the left. Once you find your position, we take our little twist. Inhale. Left arm reaches back. Our gaze follows the fingertips. And exhale, half splits. Sweep the hips back. Lengthen the spine is the most important thing, so reaching up through the crown of the head. We can always be using our blocks if we need to. If we feel the need to hunch, that's definitely when we place our blocks down. Give ourselves a little bit more height, a little bit more accessibility. Coming into our twist, if we feel so inclined. Beautiful. Releasing, stepping back onto the knees, and then gently rocking back onto the feet, coming into a little squat at the back of the mat. Just going to face you so you can see. Squatting down, opening through the hips. We're preparing to ramp up the energy. So it doesn't matter if your heels are on the mat. We just want to sink the pelvis down, lift the chest up, try to open through the groins, maybe use the elbows to open the knees a little bit more. Feel the relief, or feel whatever it is you're feeling. Plant the right fingertips. Inhale, reach the left arm overhead. We can stay here, or we can sweep that left arm behind and try to reach for the fingers. No judgment if we try any of these binds and we can't make it. It's part of the process. Exhale, release. And switch. Right arm sweeps overhead. And taking our bind. And you may notice that in some positions, or maybe all of them, you can bind on one side but not the other. Totally normal. I would still recommend trying on the other side. We want to try to balance ourselves out, but we release the expectation and know that we will never be fully balanced and even. Beautiful. On your next exhale, gently release. Straighten the legs, turn the toes to the front and gently walk into downward facing dog. Take a moment to reset here. We're preparing to lift off, quite heavy. Ground down through the right leg. Send the left up high. Three-legged dog. Bend the knee. Open through the hips. Try to squeeze the glutes together. Flex the foot. Send it to the opposite side of the room. Just 2 breaths here. Exhale, three-legged dog. Bend the knee. Step into a high runner's lunge, keeping the fingertips floating on the mat. We are going to be stepping up into eagle pose. So take your time, lift up, find your balance, and whenever you feel ready, lift off and wrap the right leg around the left. Taking your time, trying to wrap arms around, and if we can't, we can always place them on the shoulders. Inhale, reach up, connecting to your strength. Use your breath. Beautiful, you got this. You're feeling so strong. Last breath. And keeping the arms raveled, try to unravel the legs and extend the right leg back, warrior 3, as we shift our weight forward, keeping our eagle arms. Squeeze through the legs, keeping the hips square. Hold here, 1 breath. Gently step back into our high lunge, raise the arms, inhale. Maybe a slight back bend. Exhale, release the arms up high. Take 1 inhale and exhale, warrior 2. Coming into extended side angle, reaching the right arm overhead as the left comes onto the knee. Or we have an option to reach back and bind, lifting the chest. 1 more breath here. Create space for yourself. And exhale, shift the hips back, coming into triangle. We can always release the arms, coming onto a block. That's where we go next. Or stay in our lunge if triangle does not work for you. Ground down through the outer edges of the feet. And release into triangle, planting the left fingertips or letting them find the leg, reaching the right arm up, still sending the hips back. Connect to the core here. Maybe make a slight micro bend in this left knee. Pick up the arms, send them over to the left side as we reach and rotate, getting a nice strength in our obliques here. Then keeping the arms lifted, rotate on the back ball of the foot, step up, straighten the legs, and fold over the left leg. Maybe taking the hands behind the back. Beautiful. Release the fingertips to the mat. Turn to the long edge, keeping the feet pointed towards the edge of the mat. Lifting up. Connect to the core. Maybe find a little sway, little funky sway here. And inhale, reach back up, 5-pointed star pose. Turn the toes out to the corners. Sink down, goddess pose. Arms cactus to the sides. Draw the shoulder blades together, nice and strong. One more breath. Go a little bit deeper. Then straighten the legs. Turn to the back of the mat. And fold over the legs, stepping back into a downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Prepare for the other side. Inhale, right leg sweeps high. Exhale, stack the hips, open, flex the foot. Maybe gazing under the shoulder. One more breath. Exhale, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, bring it in through the chest. Runner's lunge, find your position. Preparing for a nice big eagle lift off here. Whenever you're ready, take your time. Lifting off and wrapping around. I think it was, can't even remember what arms I did this way. Using your opposite arms. I realized I did not tell you which ones to use. Use your breath. Notice what you feel right now. Feel strong. Feel a little bit shaky. That's you gaining strength. One more breath. And exhale, try to unravel the legs and send it back into warrior three. Shifting your weight slowly and evenly. One breath. Try to carefully step back with control. Inhale, big lunge. And release the arms. On your next exhale, warrior two. And your version of extended side angle. Maybe play around with the bind if you haven't before. And straightening the legs, coming into your triangle pose. Always listening to your own body. Releasing into triangle. Reaching the left fingertips up. Wow, so much room in the heart center here. Love it. Beautiful. Connect to the core. Lift up. Take the arms over the right leg. Nice and strong. And then turn, step the back foot up and fold. Maybe giving yourself a chance to reset the breath. And then turning to the long edge of the mat. Lifting the arms shoulder height. Hold here, ground down through the outer edges of the feet. And this time, exhale, fold. We have a few options here. We can reach the arms behind the back, interlace the fingers, draw them over the head. We can reach for the feet, drawing our head underneath the legs. We're here for about 2 more breaths. Take what you need. And then lifting up nice and tall. 5-pointed star pose. Turning the toes and releasing into goddess just one more time. Take the hands behind the head. Inhale. Exhale. Just a small little tilt to one side. As we're gaining strength in the lower body. We're opening through the upper body. I love to stack things like this, working out the lower body as well as the upper body. One more time each side. Even yourself out. Beautiful. And then straighten 5-pointed star pose. You did it. Turn to the top of the mat. Step up. Feet come under the hips. And exhale, just slowly sink into chair, keeping the arms in front. Overhead, roll the shoulders back. Slightly tuck the tailbone. Find your breath. Exhale, hands to heart center. Just a gentle twist to the right. Only one breath. And then back to center. One last little twist, just firing up the glutes one more time. You can do it. Back to center. And slowly, gently release down onto the mat, coming into staff pose. Flexing the feet out through the front of the room. Find your space here. Take any wiggles, anything you need, shake it off. Coming into this moment, just notice how your breath is. Notice anything happening in your body, any mental restraints maybe we loosened, any physical sweat happening. Just observe. Beat of your heart. Beautiful. Then gently take this left leg in, bend the knee in towards the chest, cross it over. Finding a little twist, take the right arm, place it inside this knee, and twist to the left. Sitting up nice and tall. We can stay here, or we can try another little twist, one that I don't attempt very often. We can bend the bottom leg, and then wrap this top arm underneath the knee and try to meet hands. So we want to make sure that we're still rooted down at the sit bone. So if our leg is lifting off, then we just back up, extend the bottom leg again. But we're not here for very long. I encourage you to try poses that you maybe never have really attempted before. And who knows, you might surprise yourself. One more breath wherever you're at. And then gently coming into cow face pose, keeping this left knee bent on top of the right, stacking knees, wiggling the feet out to get there. Once you find your spot, reach the arms up and drop the right behind, bending both at the elbows. Breathing. Not forcing your breath to slow down by any means, just noticing where it's at. Letting it draw you back into this moment. Releasing the hands, planting the fingertips by the feet, taking a few breaths to just forward fold a little bit, getting the glutes. And then gently raise back up. Extend through staff pose. I'm going to take a little seated forward fold here. So if we need to bend the knees, we can. Just find a little forward fold, keeping the back nice and long. Doing the stretch in the lower back. Then gently raising back up, crossing this right leg over the left, finding your version of your twist. Doesn't need to match mine. I just have options for you. Feel your body. deepening our twist if we so wish. Like I said, not forcing it if it doesn't feel good. Sometimes poses we've never tried just feel simply unnatural to us, but they don't necessarily not feel good. Like this one for me. That's when our breath comes in handy. Our ability to just sit. Beautiful. And when you're ready, you can release and come into cow face pose. Reaching the arms up and trying to meet fingertips. Letting the shoulders open. Feeling the heart center expand, especially after all the strength we just used in this practice. Maybe we're feeling a little bit more confident, capable. And gently releasing the hands, finding a little forward fold. And lifting back up, unraveling the legs, planting the feet, coming onto the back. You guessed it, we have bridge pose. Coming onto the back, place the palms down on the mat. And exhale, squeeze through the glutes. Send the hips up. Trying to keep the knees together. Don't let them splay out. Ground down through the feet. This is such a balancing pose for the chakras, for the energy. It's great to end on. Last breath. Exhale, release the bum. Take the knees up into the chest. Maybe find some little circles that feel good there. And then send the feet up towards the ceiling, flexing them. We can grab onto the ankles, the inner arches of the feet, or the big toes, and just let the knees draw by the sides of the ribs. Let gravity take a hold of you here. We don't really need to do anything else except let go. Just letting the lower back be held and supported by the mat here. It's a lovely little massage, especially to counter all of those twists. And letting the feet draw in and extending the legs. Letting yourself release into a nice resting pose. Finding some stillness and some silence for the last moment or two of this practice. Just letting yourself be with your breath. Letting your limbs become heavy, melt downward. Feeling your heart pumping blood throughout your entire body. Feeling the oxygen fill your lungs. Inflating on the inhales and deflating on the exhales. Releasing tension in the forehead and the jaw. Allowing yourself to truly come into this moment. Give yourself permission to do nothing. Whenever you're ready to gently come back into the room, you can make any little adjustments to the body to wake yourself back up. And I thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this fun little twisting flow. And I would love to hear your experience below. And if you did enjoy it, please give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps me continue to share these classes with you all. And I look forward to seeing you next time we meet on the mat.